What's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is another Chance Encounter. Hey, what's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg. I'm a commercial real estate guy. I'm from the internet. We're seeing more properties like this being built in front of a house. It's going to be torn down soon. I understand that there are power lines that are getting kind of close. What's up again? This is Dan Fredenberg, and that there is a commercial real estate building. I'm joined today with Joe. Is it Giuliacci? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah, Latin studying for the win, it appears. But I'm here, you're here in the audience. Why are we here? It's because we interview commercial real estate investors. Why do we do that? Well, we need to know what is it that my guest actually does in this business. And I want you to be able to effectively communicate on the topic of commercial real estate. Before we get too excited on that, though, Joe, can you please introduce yourself for the audience?
Yeah, Joe Giuliacci. I am these days. I'm purely a passive investor.
Mhm.
I did own duplex properties for about 20 years, and in the last handful of years, divested out of that. I did do a career in engineering for about 31 years, and I just left that career and wound that up. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Sweet. All right. So to warm up our warm up question here, like pull this up here. We're talking about commercial real estate investment. So there's a lot of different flavors of that. But without sticking necessarily to commercial real estate, the question I have for you first is fill in this blank. There are many popular investment asset classes, but I think blank is too risky. What do you think? I like to hit
Um,
Pokemon cards and Air Jordans personally because that's a buy low, sell high move.
right now, I guess I'm still of the belief that crypto is a little bit too risky. I don't know if that fits in this parameter, but
I think it definitely does, especially today. It lost another however many percent. It's the biggest drop that I've seen in a day in quite some time. But to commercial real estate specifically, I like to go through the motivations first, and that's because some people they are new to this business and they know why they're doing it, but they don't know what they're actually going to be doing to bring something to the table. So I'll go through those five different motivations. First one, some people already have the assets, but they want to keep them, or hopefully they actually have the assets that give them cash flow to make ends meet. But if inflation rears its ugly head, like right now, they're going to have to make some more acquisitions just to make sure it doesn't ruin the party. But that's not what I'm up to. What I'm up to is trading time directly for wealth, aka equity, instead of going for salary. And that's because I have an electrical engineering background. I'm in tech, and so with CRM agencies and eventually marketing and all that kind of fun stuff, it's like, sure, getting a high wage is great, but you're also paying more tax than anybody else. So I pivoted and said, all right, let's make commercial real estate the vehicle for me. So that's what I'm up to. But most people, they are more interested in fast tracking their retirement, more specifically gaining control of their time. They want to work fewer months per year, or they actually do want to retire. But the next two groups, retirement is not their main goal. The next one, it's people who are just plain ambitious. They want to own their entire hometown. They're looking for that legacy wealth, making sure their great grandchildren never have to hold down a day job. Whereas the last group, they found a sector of society, or maybe it's animals or the environment, whatever it is, they realize that the financial backing has to be there. So they need to accumulate wealth if they are going to save the world or make that kind of humongous impact on that group of society they've chosen. So, they're quite different, those five, and lots of people identify with all of them. But which ones really stand out for you, Joe?
yeah, so probably a combination of two of those. As I mentioned in my intro, I am in retirement years. And so having cash flow that's what my wife and I are all about these days. And that's how we've got our capital position to create that for us. So we've
Mhm.
effectively been able to leave our W-2s and have about the same income walking out and not having to go to work and punch the old clock. Uh,
Beautiful.
that's one. And then the second is charitable, and which was your last piece, is we have a big passion for being able to generously give our money away.
Mhm.
In fact, we've always had the principle of give away first and live off the rest, as opposed to the other way around, where we only give of our excess.
Beautiful. So let's go on to the roles. I always go through all six of the main roles in a commercial deal. You can get your copy of this dandoesdeals.com commercial roll die from dandoesdeals.com. It's free. I don't even ask for your email address, which is a really stupid idea for marketing. But let's go through these, and then that way you can learn how to effectively communicate on the subject of commercial real estate. And so you can learn how my guest fits into these. So let's first talk about repositioners, because those are the acquisitions people. They're finding the new properties. They're looking at a bunch of different properties, doing a bunch of paperwork. Most importantly, they're underwriting, which is the fancy word for doing the math. And they're finding out, is this property actually making what the seller says it is? And then they're also going, well, how can we change this property so it makes even more? We get that upside, okay? That's what the repositioning side is. There are three main tools in their tool belt to do that. First one, more advantageous lending. It sounds like financier is a major role in what you're going to be doing here, Joe. But getting that better lending, that's great if you can pull it off. But usually, the next tool that they're going to do is they're going to have more efficient operations to cut those costs, stop those Benjamins from going down the toilet. But as far as an operations piece that I personally would add to a team, because of my marketing background, I'd be able to make sure that you keep that vacancy rate low. And then there's also automations and things like that. So operations, it's got a little bit more nuance to it than it seems. But that's probably not enough, just cutting the costs as far as a repositioning move. So repositioners often have to get a contractor team as well to actually improve the units, do a value add, do the renovations. But the problem with if you are from the internet like me, and most people have some sort of repositioner duties, then you're going to need a local. I'm from the internet, so I'm not going to be there in an hour or two. So you need somebody who can be there in short notice and then make sure that the contractors aren't cutting corners and they're actually meeting their deadlines. And same with the operations guys, keeping an eye on them. So the repositioner gets this whole team. They end up finding the property. They turn around to the financier, say, hey, this building costs tens of millions of dollars. Can you lend me tens of millions of dollars? And the financiers, the banks and the fund managers and whatnot, anybody who's working purely with money, they're going to want to know one other thing before you're going to be eligible for the loan, which is, who is your KP sponsor? Who is your key partner? And what that's all about is you will not be eligible for the loan unless you have somebody in the fold who already owns a similar asset. So if it's a 350 unit apartment complex, somebody is going to need to already own one, or the bank's going to say no. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need a certain amount of liquidity. You're also going to need a balance sheet of at least the amount of the loan. But if you have all those pieces, you've got yourself a commercial real estate deal. So, Joe, I already mentioned that you're sounding like you're going to be in a financier position. I'm not sure if you're looking to be active or purely passive, but what stands out as far as core competencies that you're planning on contributing?
Yeah, so I guess my intention right now is to play in the pure passive space.
Mhm.
Um, I am a self-committed spreadsheet nerd. So I do like the underwriting side, and so will one day I kind of try to hook up in that range with a group of co-GPs and do something active. We'll see. But I do, at least from the financial standpoint, kind of run my own numbers and see if I can prove the projections, or at least give me a place to ask a whole bunch of questions to that repositioner.
Perfect. That makes lots of sense. So my next question then has to do with ideal property. There are three parts that we're talking about in commercial real estate when we're experts, and we that we'll want to know. First thing's geography. So what states, possibly what county, possibly what neighborhood, the location, location, location. That's the first thing. Second thing is to get an idea of the size of the deal. We're talking about multifamily, but it's also true with mobile home parks and with self-storage and with retail. You're going to be asking for the unit count to find the size. If it's industrial or warehousing, it's going to be square footage, but you're going to need to know the size of the deal. And the third thing is class. And unfortunately, they use the same word for two different things. One is for the condition of the building, like is it beat up or is it immaculate? And then the other meaning of class is the area that the property is in. So that would be like, what's the crime rate? What are the schools like? So of those three parts of the buy box, what's a really good fit for you, Joe?
Well, for me, even ahead of location, location, location is sponsor, sponsor, sponsor.
Definitely.
And so I root in on that and find the right sponsor people to work with these days, and then from there that takes me to the neighborhood, the geography, and then the deals come out of that. That's most important, is just getting that relationship trust going with a good key sponsor. And then, the rest is kind of the cherry on the top, so to speak.
Perfect, perfect. I can dig it. So, me personally, because of my marketing and tech background, I'm always on the lookout for more sponsors and KPs because they'll have the foundation to actually make things work. And if you're going to be looking for investors anyway, you have to have a deal in hand, and you're not allowed to entice them. But is that who you are best suited to look for? You're looking for the operators and the sponsors, the KPs. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
great. Great. So, and then if they want to reach out to you, what's the best way to do that? Is there a website or is it through LinkedIn? We met through some meetups.
Yeah, LinkedIn is actually the only social media I play in.
Mhm.
So that's where folks can find me.
All right, cool. And your name is down there over it's closer to over here in the title, which reminds me I need to draw your attention to I've got this campaign called the Stop the Big Ugly Red Buttons campaign. And under my left hand there is a big ugly red button. And the only way to get rid of that awful, awful, awful button is to click on it. And what that does is it means that my videos will show up in your list of suggestions. But more important than that, it means that YouTube might start paying for these videos instead of me. So if you could do me that great big favor and hit that, it doesn't cost you anything. You don't need credit cards or email addresses or anything like that. But you don't even have to watch the other videos. I just appreciate the fact that you're here and you join me today. Just like Joe, this has been fantastic getting to know you better. Thanks for joining me today.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan.
Awesome. Make sure you 506B me. Any syndicators, make sure you 506B me.
Hi.
Oh, hey, yeah, here's my code. You got your QR code scanner? Okay, yeah, oh yeah, just hold it right in the square there. Okay, cool. And now you hit open in browser.
Okay.
Okay, are you already logged into 506BME?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so there's my video. So now I'm already on your watch list. So when you get back to your hotel, you can find out what my core competencies are and my level of sophistication. Sound good?
Yeah.
I love your hat. Real estate's a scam. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
506B me, everybody.